Here is the square pink house on the green street. Here is the long backyard sloped to the alley. Here is the rusty swing, and here's the pup tent bleaching the grass. Here is the happy family like all the others. Here is the sunburnt child on her blue bike whose streamers are the reins of a great stallion. Here they gallop the world from home to grandmother's and home again on odd brick streets, around the painted bandstand, through the gap in the church's high-trimmed hedge. Here is a small town hugging the river bend, cicadas rasping out their alien urge, the light as thick as clover honey. Here it is always summer, always the golden hour. A British PhD in Shakespeare studies bakes what the Brits call biscuits. Here, they're cookies, transmogrified with hand-piped royal icing and vodka paint to look like what they're not. Witness Jane Austen's patchwork coverlet, flavor rosewater. William Morris's fabric, flavor orange cardamom vanilla. Shards found on the foreshore of the Thames, sea salt and brown sugar. Gaze upon medieval tiles of ivory, ochre, oxblood, teeming with figures, honey, ginger, clove. Touch with near reverence these attic relics, this dragonfly caught live by Tiffany, an Anglo-Saxon hoard of gold and silver, illuminated manuscripts in cheerful reds and blues. None larger than a wren, these biscuits are a trip excellence of love and skill and humor, mixed and baked, and finally transformed to feed the body and delight the tongue. But first, to capture the eye and imagination with their craft and patient rendering of every detail. Too beautiful to eat, we say aloud, just let us stand and look some more. The maker answers, they are to be eaten. At which we edge away, shaking our heads. Our desires are foiled. That beauty swiftly fades, is less astonishing, and the mean joke of the maker is on us, and we don't like it. Pity all makers of a perfect thing who aim for it to be destroyed. They are ever resented and misunderstood, and we will never love them as we should. I lived in paradise, and then I fell. Outside of paradise can seem like hell. The falling took no time, an idle thought, a heedless act, and then the instant swell of brass and timpani and angels grieving. Then just as swiftly, only my own breath, distant, hesitant, and so deceiving, as if all were still well, if I were breathing. Outside those gates, the salt has lost its salt. In my no longer innocent gestalt, I know that all of this harm and sorrow happened through my fault, my most grievous fault. Into its roots I thrust my spade each spring, to kill it where it cloaks and climbs my lovely house, and chokes all other green things there arrayed. With my bare hands, I pull new shoots before they batten and start to braid themselves into a wild cascade. I never manage to kill the roots. I lay thick fabric on the yard to snuff the beast, but my crusade founders. No earthly barricade will work. Old errors, they die hard. I planted this plague decades past so casually, and am now betrayed by its propensity to last. It's not the worst choice I have made. The world as we know it is falling away. Shout the good news in the dark cafe, at the Little League game at the shopping mall, in the bar, in the boardroom, at City Hall. The world is falling away. The loss is nothing at all. Give up the old striped cat on your bed, the blast of July on your bare head, the child's glare, the woods in September, the rage whose reason you can't remember. Leave those last words unsaid. Damp your flame to an ember. Relinquish your spotless home and your debts, your chocolate, your wine, your cigarettes, your nameless fears that siphon sleep, all things that seem as if they'll keep. This isn't as good as it gets, but the getting won't come cheap. Abandon despair, abandon delight, the high moon through the blinds at night, gin and tonics on the deck at 4, the long kiss, the slammed door. Unlearn your appetite for this lovely tug-of-war. Let go of lust and pride and treasure, relentless longing, fleeting pleasure. Release the few things you do well. Meanwhile, death is going to hell. Death is going to hell to stay. The world is falling away. Decades of bad decisions gather to a greatness, forming a shameful monolith of vast proportions, teaching her not to trust her oldest, deepest instincts. Even her best self is unmoored and disappointing. Memory, like a pill bug curled on its own innards, cautions her every day to question her flawed judgment, horrid as it is proven. But she needs no warning. She is defined by blunders sure as death and taxes. How, when she means to help, she always only worsens. How all her acts become ridiculous and clumsy. How neither heart nor reason serve to lead her rightly. She is a stranger to herself and inauthentic. Nothing is left but to explore a new dynamic. Pure and complete and right in its inspired directness, she will recalibrate her every thought and action, doing anything other than what she has always done. I walked and sailed 10,000 miles for love. I left no road untrod, no sea unsuffered, all for God. A fisherman I'm not. My trials are documented. Prison, shipwrecks, prison, Nero. My deeds as well, churches, converts, seeds broadcast to honor Christ arisen. Yet, that was then, and this is now. But then and now are the same feast, where least is greatest, greatest least. and is and was are moot somehow. Jesus loves me, this I know. Forgave me at creation, yet I cannot manage to forget. Cloaks at my feet, a stone's throw. Often the lovers never even touch. Merely to glimpse a throat is much too much. Should sleeves or fingers brush, someone may swoon, and someone storm glowering out of the room. Or both may startle, right themselves, and each withdraw to contemplate the out of reach. They guard their thoughts and eyes, they blush and tremble, finding themselves adjacent, they dissemble into an agony of repartee, stirring as any stolen kiss. And we, finding them silly, farcical, or sad, now shake our heads at their benighted mad abstention, which seems oddly close to fear, as if love could be savage or severe. Augustine, in adulthood, thought things through, and came to the conclusion that his stealing of pears years earlier was strictly due to his keen urge to sin, not a craving for fruit or fun or friendship. Misbehaving for its own sake? I don't get it. As revealing as his story is, it doesn't do a lot to explain why he's a saint and I am not. I, who have never chosen to do wrong. I want what I want, yes, but when what I want is questionable, my good sense comes along to point out that it really is a gift, this thing that I desire, and to make short shrift of guilt in a tacit, peaceful détente. I mind the commandments to the very letter, most gratefully. My way is surely better. Oh, we were such good girls, the four of us, caught in Polaroid amber in our cut-off jeans. Deep Iowa summer, thrumming, humid, hot. And we posed for somebody's dad in the yellow-green light of late afternoon, in a rough cleared spot surrounding a derelict hut. We were 14. The hut was hidden on somebody's uncle's farm, and we had 2 whole days to flirt with harm. We were all cherished, and our world was small. Books, good grades, residual make-believe, and this was our grand adventure before fall flung us at high school, where we would achieve less than we planned. We needed a close call, a way for that tight-wound goodness to unweave itself. Not really living was our fear. The dads left, and we leapt for the bootleg beer. 6 cans of hams and 6 loose cigarettes, all stolen from the parents one by one. Freedom within our grasp, we could forget what good girls we were and come undone. Mocking our mothers, belching sans regret, bellowing camp songs, overdoing sun. S'mores, hot dogs, a cooler full of Cokes, drunk on 6 shared beers and as many smokes. Meanwhile, in other news, a solar flare, a 6-day war, Charlie Manson out of jail, a long, hot summer of riots everywhere, a summer of love hurtling off the rails, Chicago tornadoes, in China, a bomb scare, Chaos and mayhem off the Richter scale, the world sick with catastrophic syndrome. On Sunday, our parents came to take us home. There is a line. To cross the line is sin. To want to cross the line is sin. To ache for the line to never have been dreamed or drawn, that, too, is sin. It is a grave mistake to wish you different, Lord, and sin is death. But she is my heart's hot core, my slumber's wreck, my ruin, my rapture, my ragged breath, my deepest wound, my own self halved and healed, the cataclysm and the aftermath, all your whirling firmament revealed. Fruit and fruition I cannot live without, glad homecoming for one too long exiled. And you, what were you trying to bring about, placing her naked there in front of me when you had drawn that line? Lord, do you gloat at your servant all unstrung? Your treachery stings. Why am I teased and then denied? I, whom you anointed when I was a boy. Am I to consider your line some great divide? I could cross over in a single stride. Swift as my sharp breath, it paces from the fog, crosses the highway, dog, coyote, portent of death, message I might misread. I break, slow to a crawl, breathe twice, resume speed. It's likely nothing at all. He grimaces and snaps his half-inch beak at all the swooping interlopers. We, from 40 feet away, pause at the sound, startling in its incongruity. It works, though. The yard empties, and this wet 3 ounces of despotic, crackling fluff enjoys at ease his solitary bath. Thinking your God is sometimes threat enough. I check my feed from bed first thing each morning and find today that overnight I've shot to new heights of approval with no warning. It's hard to know which of my bonds mots caught the world's imagination, but no matter. Genius rules, and the cream will always rise to the top. I love how total strangers' chatter builds exponentially before my eyes. I dazzle them. Their thumbs tap approbation faster and faster into the hungry void. The likes blow up numeric affirmation of my whole life so brilliantly employed. I am the hottest fashion of the season. I am where I was always meant to be. The focus of all worship and all reason, swift and astral my ascendancy. By afternoon, some wit or politician will seize my ranking. Triggered and dismissed, I'll nonetheless intensify my mission. When I'm not trending, I do not exist. Clean and warm, a sleeping baby dies in his crib. We have not had enough of baby. We want more. A young barista perishes in a pileup. Just like that, she's gone into the vacuum we abhor. Slowly, an aged father dwindles, eases away. Too soon for us, if not for him, through a one-way door. Someone loves us, then they don't. And all our litanies of loss will not bring back what we had before. Love, health, memory, skill, ours, but not ours, we learn, in this long-lasting and uncivil war. Keep your cloudy eternity. We are not gluttons. All we want, right here, right now, is a long encore. The Lord giveth like a playground bully, taketh back grinning all his gifts, taketh back and doth not restore. Death phoned and pretended to be my mother, but I knew better. When she said she'd found a lump, it was small. I shouldn't worry. It was very small. All the doctors felt she'd found it early. Such careful words out of all the possible words she could utter. And cancer, cancer, all of us hissed between our teeth, as if it were a bad smell, as if enough love and money and Midwestern grit and staunch good humor, even death can be funny if it's very small and you find it early, and our smorgasbord faiths could blast that hellish smell clean out of the universe. Of course, a bad smell can kill you if it's strong enough, but this wasn't. We knew it, and we were willing to live on if. It would just be extremely unpleasant for Mother and, of course, for us. Well, we sighed, cancer, cancer, and firmed our upper lips. The lump was lifted under the knife. The wounded head healed. She could raise her arm and fix her hair. Her veins were filled every 3 weeks with tender poison, drip, drip, drip. And Mother learned the achy-breaky and resumed her golf. We had barred the door to death, so death came in the window, bit through her heart. She was that easy to undo. It was no big deal to death, so nonchalant, sure of itself. It knew lots of ways to do it. Clever mongrel puppy worrying a rag. One eye on us, but the rag was Mother. She's ruined now. We cannot pray her back together, and our displeasure makes no difference. Death is happy. Where we had sucked cancer, cancer through our teeth before, now the litany, she had no history. It's such a shock. It's so surprising. We looked the wrong way. It's a dirty joke. She did all the right things. She had no history. This is not fair. As if some other game with death would have pleased us better. And anyway, it was a lie. What we said to each other, a lie. Mother did, and we all do have a long, rich history. My relatives have all caught death sooner or later. It's in our chromosomes. It runs in the family. Her friends who had never met me thought I resembled Mother. They flinched above their casseroles when I opened the door, but was it her blue eyes they saw, or her death upon me? We have joined the ranks of those not children any longer, who flounder, suddenly irresolute and full of worry, who let some details slide for how long I can't be sure. What I am quite sure of is that Mother would be stronger. And we wonder if she mourns us now as we mourn her, not that we want her to suffer like this, and if she knows finally, perfectly, love and forgiveness left unshown. To be blunt, yes, we're looking for some easy answers. And this sounds melodramatic and more than a little morbid, but it's the hard truth. We resent what happened to her body. Resurrection or not, to the sudden end it was live and healthy. We want it back joking. That was Mother, not, God forbid, this gray, unnatural being in Mother's clothes we've found. We try without success to forget how it must have hurt. That moment when death bit into her unsuspecting heart, and now we close the lid and lower her into the ground. Things were done and left undone. There is no health in us. We swear we'll spend more time on the other things that really matter, but we'll drift. We'll find our way again, grow sad, grow bitter, learn in spite of ourselves, our history and prognosis. And though we believe she was rescued, carried home by God, where still she devises luncheons and learns the new line dances, and though it's she who was warped and weft out of existence, who taught us to be particular, polite, and unafraid, she's gone. She was here and then gone. And we seem to keep forgetting she can't mix us an old-fashioned. She can't buy us a perfect present. What we had is all we have. What we thought was forever isn't. We phone each other, but death is always on call, waiting. Like feathers, they drift in from somewhere out of frame, and none of them can name where they have been. Too briefly do they stay in frame, falling, lifting, lightly slanting, drifting down and away, with perfect gravity into the waiting grave. They love us, but behave so thoughtlessly. Because she spies them on the tree, because she knows he loves them, she plucks and lays them on his desk when he is out of the room. The solid facts of the world are war, pestilence, fear, and war. Yet no less solid is the fact of perfect figs laid there. The last warm Saturday, the final mowing, that drone, that fragrance, with the traitor sun low-angled making all this not quite right. Here is a bitter yearly winnowing of what's to come, what is in decline, parsed in the language of the changing light. I know this language, but I cannot speak it. I learned it from my senses over time. It comforts me and makes me cold and mute. In trying to express its deepest secret, all I can mumble is its paradigm, that loss and bliss come from the same root. Today our truculent son left for a week. Tonight my husband reads and, for my sake, listens to music with the headphones on, knowing I'm close outside. The windows are open, knowing I pounce on quiet when I find it. The grief, I cannot seem to move beyond it, but in this silence I will try to save some shred of this beastly day, try to believe in redemption, and that I am not the beast. Voice tight, teeth showing, my hour come round at last. The Romans had it right, placing a slave in the gilded chariot beside the hero at his triumphs. Women waved and flowers flew, and a sea of strong men cried the hero's name like a god's name, and the drone of eloquent encomiums proceeded, while the crouching slave for the hero's ears alone murmured the other words the hero needed. Remember that you will die. In the grip of bliss, acclaim, and power, don't get too used to this. Believe me, I've been thinking, this can't last. These good things raining down layer on layer, the pleasure and the praise too much, too fast, too breathtaking to let out any prayer except, I praise you, Lord. I bless your name for this euphoric rush. I glorify, adore, and thank you, thank you. My blue flame burns like a votive candle gone awry. I crave the gift more than I crave the giver, and I am immoderate. On tasting glory, I want more, and I want it over and over. Mine is a mythic and a much-told story. We know what happens next in all such cases. A falling down, or, seen in a different way, a rescue by a god whose wild embraces may be withdrawn if they lead us astray. I sow the seeds of my falling down, fingering like a silver charm the thought that I deserve renown. Thus do I pinch grace into harm. My God will rescue me. Before the fact of what is coming, my overwhelming thought is to talk myself down gently. Brace for impact. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a lot. Like all things holy, it begins with pain. Like everything sacred, it will start with pain that leads to a choice, and maybe leads to gain. Here is the choice when sorrow grows absurd, when grief so greedy it becomes absurd, to shrink and wither, or to flip pain the bird. Grab the pain like it's a stinging nettle. Take a deep breath, squeeze that bloody nettle, and learn the miracle of your own mettle. Don't trade your better self to find relief. Don't barter as you grope for some relief. Lean into the pain, and you will outfox grief. Press your finger deep into that fresh bruise, into the hot, hard center of that bruise, and never let yourself lie down and lose. Be rough with pain. Take what it wants to give. Claw down into it. Want what it has to give. Then sing, it's killing me, but I still live. The grief is killing me, but I come out swinging. It's doing me in, but I always come out swinging. It's the devil's very own, but I'm still singing. What do you study all day long in your oratory, under your towers of books and Bibles, sources, translations, commentary? I study salvation, blessed and bloody. I study the saints and the adversary. I analyze and I synthesize back to the garden allegory. And are you ready, nose to the books in your vast library, to lift your eyes and face salvation, embrace the fact that fuels the theory? I hope for the best, like everybody. I balance my books with my breviary. The Lord smiles at my words and lifts me past words and into glory. Unloose it, she hears, or doesn't hear, but has the meaning full and instant there on her bed of rock and sand, where she lies quiet, forswearing love. Under the sun and the moon she prays for the death of need, to not desire so desperately love's counterfeit, to live in acquiescent calm and tepid peace. Decades have reeled and run within her prayer for conversion, fire to burn away the last of longing, yet that clear night, all nights are clear in the thorny barrens. As she floats, weary on the edge of wakefulness, the constellations grind to a stop their slow arcs, and words like cool water lap at her. Dearest, unloose it. Uncage love and send love out. Set love free. Let love astound those it falls upon. Let it knock them over. But not your puny, needful love. Use mine. We too will do it. You the flume and I the freshet. You the dry bed and I the flood through you. Say yes. Tomorrow all your life's love will seem a dry prologue. Down into the valley I rise, screaming Alleluia in bright and brittle air. This is my weather. All I hear is my heart as I climb the cold, like falling into dreaming. Coulees are rippled by a pulse of fear as I pass overhead, my fleet art the merest flick of shadow over snow. This is my weather. I am unencumbered, resting on this thermal above the butt. My concepts such as yesterday, tomorrow, now. Well, you, alas, your hours are numbered. My vision and my need are absolute. This white basin of sky can never hold me, and soon I will spill over, change my cry, plummet to do my existential damage. To you it will seem to take an eternity, or it will seem just a blink of your wet dark eye in which is mirrored my inrushing image. Once, on a violent afternoon, I prayed, "Please take me apart, and soon. I fear what's before me, and grow despairing, mean, and hard. Demolish and renovate me, Lord, wreck and restore me. Habit by habit, flaw by flaw, break and mend me under love's law. The work requires it. Retrofit me to do your will. Yes, I know it will hurt, and still my soul desires it. straightened what I have ruined or bent for years since I was innocent. Help me be mild. The good in me please amplify until this boy and you and I are reconciled. It is the bridge of the Word, the bridge of His body that I climb panting. I cling to the bridge of His body. The tempestuous sea of this life lunges for me, and I laugh as it rages beneath the bridge of His body. The bridge has 3 steps. At first, I kiss His feet, then His side, then His mouth, as I scale the bridge of His body. By His pierced feet I ascend to His pierced side, by His side His gall-strung mouth on the bridge of His body. The height of divinity, hard humbled to earth, most holy absurdity is the bridge of His body. Spirit will save me, Spirit will lift me up, but Spirit owns form, and form is the bridge of His body. It is for you, He says, daughter beloved, that I built and broke and rebuilt the bridge of His body. Why do you stand here looking at the sky? Are you amazed as river passes by, keeps on moving from the hidden past into the hidden future, yet stays steadfast, revealed in front of you? Or do you drink, face in the water, kneeling on the brink, refreshed by the real presence of the stream? If you should notice in your walking dream a brief caesura between wind and wind, a shift where atmosphere has slowed and thinned, do you lose your mind to grief? Do you despair of ever again feeling the stir of air? Or do you know, nearly from your birth, that wind is with us always? On this earth, being, leaving, returning, all are the same, for river, wind, and Christ, whose holy name on your lips can raise the dead. We laugh at you, but mean it kindly, if you only knew. Two of the homeschooled children from next door pump the swings high and loudly, bum bum bum, the Mozart they've been listening to. Before, the golden hour was still, but for the hum of locusts. Now across the chokecherry border of our backyards, spilled through green seclusion, comes this bellowed order in disorder, squeaky, crescendoing. A sudden fusion of disparate pleasures into one delight. Here, for me, at this moment, on this night. My prayers drop to the ground like so much gravel, salting the path on which it seems I travel. Who made the path before me? Others praying. Kadosh, 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 I hear them saying.